Hi, Lisa here with the Colored Umbrella. Today we are going to be making a tumbler using a wavy template. And we're going to be doing this on a 20-ounce skinny using all of these adorable vinyls. So let's get into it. The first thing we are going to do is cut all of our vinyl to size so that way when we put it in our cutting machine, it's all ready to go. I'm cutting each of my individual pieces and I have included the dimensions for each of them so you can refer to that. I am also including the template for this. I will also include all of my cut settings and I will be sure and include it for Silhouette as well as for Cricut. I am using my Silhouette portrait machine, but the cut settings are the same for the Cameo as well. Once all of my pieces are cut, then we can go ahead and apply our first vinyl piece to our tumbler. And I am just going to use the hinge method, and I want to make sure it's nice and straight, lines up, and then cut off the excess. Now, I accidentally was a little bit off on my dimensions when I cut this, so it is a little bit off, but I was able to fix it with my pinstriping. So I just started my striping down a little bit lower so that way it hid that and no one will ever know. After that piece is done, then I'm just going to go in, as you can see, and take each piece and individually place them one on top of another. And I'm just going to continue this process until I am up to the top. I want to get these as close together as I can. If there's a little bit of a gap, that's okay, because after we've applied our first coat of epoxy, we're actually going to go in and put some striping on there to cover up any imperfections. Now, one little trick I have started doing, which has made such a difference, is I've actually been putting a little bit of UV resin where the pinstripes meet up. By doing this, it actually ensures that it does not lift at all and everything stays in place. Saves you a lot of work later on, so highly recommend doing that. Nobody likes a bald tumbler, so we of course need to add some glitter. I am just going to tape off my vinyl and striping that we just did because we don't want to mess that up at all. Once I have that taped, then I'm going to go in with some paint here and just do a nice little even coat around there. And then I actually forgot to tape the bottom, so let's get that taped up real quick here. And then of course we've got to paint our bottom. Once my blue is dry, I am actually going to add some pink paint on there and just kind of mix them together. I didn't really have too much of a plan going into there. I just wanted to see what it would look like, and I'm actually pretty happy with the results, so I'm glad that I did that. I will, of course, link the paints that I used and everything. Before moving on to epoxy, you want to make sure your paint is completely dry. So once it is dry, then I am going to mix just a little bit of resin, because that's how I want to apply my glitter, is with the epoxy method. So I'm actually only mixing 5 milliliters of resin. Once I have that mixed, then I'm just going to apply a thin layer onto my tumbler. We just need enough to hold the glitter on there, basically. So I'm going to put it on the top as well as the bottom. And I, of course, left my tape on there because we don't want to get any resin on our vinyl. Before my epoxy sets, though, take off that tape. Now that the tape's removed, we can go ahead and glitter her up. And since this is very chunky glitter, I actually like to take my spatula, the silicone spatula, and just kind of press down any pieces that are sticking up. And then we are going to apply it to our bottom, and I'm going to do that same thing with my silicone spatula. And I'm going to let that spin for a few minutes. And then I'm going to take just a leftover piece from my vinyl, and I like to just go around the tumbler since this was chunky glitter, and just very lightly press it down so that it will lay flat. Doing this is going to make your life so much easier and reduce the amount of time that you're going to have to sand your tumbler. Then I like to just, again, take my little silicone spatula and I want to clean up my edges, especially where my striping is. So I'm just kind of pushing any glitter or epoxy that ran away and just getting it out of there. I have my resin mixed, but I want to add a little bit of sparkle to it. So I just put a tiny bit of some glitter in there. And now I'm going to apply a nice even coat of epoxy over my tumbler. And then make sure I, of course, torch it so that we can get any bubbles out of there. And let that cure fully. And then once that's cured, then we can go ahead and add our detail striping. I totally forgot to add a stripe on the bottom right here, so we're gonna add that now, which is totally fine. And then we're going to go around the tops, and I'm just using white vinyl that I pre-cut. I'm also including the template for these pinstripes as well, so you can have those. I'm just gonna go around each piece of striping that we did earlier, and I'm just going to follow the same process and just slowly go around it. And I apologize, my head keeps getting in the way, and yeah, because you got to kind of get up in there close to make sure that it's going on there correctly. These are just straight pieces, so I didn't cut these ahead of time in my machine like I did with the other ones. Since these stripes are so thin and also just the way that this vinyl is, it's really easy to kind of bend it and manipulate it the way that I need it to go. So again, just kind of repeat this process until you have covered all of your stripes. Our stripes are all on, so we of course need to add our super cute decal. So apply that on there, make sure that there's no air bubbles. And then once that's all done, we can go in with our epoxy resin. And again, just doing our nice coat of epoxy, torching it so that we can get all of our bubbles out. And then from here, you're just finishing your tumbler, cleaning it up, sanding it between coats, adding more resin. But look how pretty she is. So cute. I love this template so much, and I can't wait to see what you create with it. If you have any questions at all, please just let me know. But I hope you have the best day ever and happy tumbler making. Bye.